The New York Knicks have been the laughingstock of the NBA for the past 2 decades. This once-storied franchise fell on hard times as they struggled through coaching and front office changes, poor draft picks, and the inability to attract top free agents. However, the tide has finally turned for the Knicks in a truly shocking comeback story. Under new team president Leon Rose and coach Tom Thibodeau, the culture and identity of the Knicks has completely transformed. For the first time in 8 years, the Knicks are headed to the playoffs on the backs of most improved player Julius Randle and Thibodeau's stifling defense. What's made this comeback so unbelievable is how quickly the Knicks have bounced back after hitting rock bottom. As recently as the 2019-20 season under former coach David Fizdale, the Knicks were an embarrassment, cycling through players and limping to a 21-45 record before Fizdale was mercifully fired. Fast forward 1 season later, and Thibodeau has molded essentially the same roster into a top 4 seed while Randle has blossomed into an all-star. The Knicks play with a grit, passion, and tenacity that the franchise hasn't seen since the 90s. While it remains to be seen how far the Knicks can go in the playoffs this season, their comeback story has already far exceeded expectations, and it's a welcome sign for this historic franchise that finally has something to cheer for. The future looks bright once again for the New York Knickerbockers. How the Knicks hit rock bottom. To truly appreciate the Knicks' sudden resurgence, we need to understand how far this franchise fell over the past 20 years. After losing in the NBA Finals in 1999, the Knicks imploded. Franchise cornerstone Patrick Ewing was traded away in 2000, setting off a disastrous chain of events. The Knicks had 7 straight losing seasons while struggling to replace Ewing. The team became somewhat relevant again in 2011 after trading for Carmelo Anthony, but that was just a mirage. The Knicks had minimal playoff success and then rapidly declined into being one of the worst teams in the NBA. Once Phil Jackson came in as team president in 2014, the Knicks' nosedive accelerated. Jackson's coaching brilliance with the Bulls and Lakers didn't translate to the front office. His roster moves were disastrous, trading for and giving a max contract to Derrick Rose, signing Joakim Noah to a $72 million deal when Noah was a shell of his former self. The Knicks' strategy was aimless, switching between win-now moves and youth-focused rebuilds on a whim, and the losing continued, with the Knicks bottoming out at 17-65 in 2018. How Leon Rose sparked the comeback. After dealing with the dysfunction of the Dolan Jackson era for nearly 2 decades, Knicks fans were understandably skeptical when Leon Rose was brought in as team president in 2020. But Rose has been the catalyst for this franchise finally taking steps in the right direction. Rose brought credibility and connections from his years as a top NBA agent. Rose hired longtime Jazz executive Walt Perrin as assistant GM. He added William Wesley, known for his player relationships, as executive VP. Respected Kentucky coach Kenny Payne was brought on as assistant coach. And most importantly, Rose secured Tom Thibodeau as head coach, a defensive mastermind and strong talent developer. With Rose restructuring the front office and Thibodeau reshaping the roster and rotations, the Knicks have committed to building the right way from the ground up. How Thibodeau transformed the team. Many pundits predicted another gloomy losing season for the Knicks in 2020-21. But those prognostications underestimated the impact Tom Thibodeau would have in quickly changing the team's identity with largely the same roster he inherited. Thibodeau came in stressing defense, hustle, and accountability, 3 ingredients that had been sorely lacking. He empowered team leaders like Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. The Knicks play with a constant motor and intensity on both ends that opposition teams struggle to match up with for 4 quarters. Thibodeau earned the full buy-in from his players with his no-nonsense approach. His offensive system puts players like Randle and Barrett in positions to succeed, while the aggressive man-to-man defense suffocates opposing scorers. The players have fully taken on Thibodeau's personality, scrapping, clawing, and hustling for every loose ball like their lives depend on it. The Knicks have gone from having the 26th best defensive rating last season to the 4th best this year. That type of dramatic turnaround and improvement in 1 season is almost unheard of. Julius Randle emerges as a star. Julius Randle came into this season as just another empty-calorie losing player after underwhelming stints with the Lakers and Pelicans. But Randle has shocked the basketball world by blossoming into an all-star leader under Thibodeau's guidance. By embracing a point-forward playmaking role, Randle is having a career year putting up 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists per game as the engine of the Knicks' offense. He has clearly slimmed down and improved both his outside shooting and defense in the offseason. Randle plays with a relentless motor and competitive fire that has fueled comebacks for this scrappy Knicks squad all season. His left-handed drives to the basket through contact generates offense when the team is struggling. Randle's emergence as a secondary creator next to RJ Barrett takes pressure off the Knicks' inconsistent point guard play. Most impressively, Randle has taken ownership of the team, demanding accountability from his teammates and setting the tone with his two-way intensity. The fan vote electing Randle as an all-star starter proved he finally has the respect he deserves as an elite talent. Glimmers of hope for the future. Now as the 4th seed in the 2021 playoffs, the Knicks are not content just making it to the postseason. They have the talent and belief to make some real noise, but regardless of how this playoff run ends, the comeback story has already been written and the future looks brighter than ever. RJ Barrett at just 21 years old has taken major steps forward as a dynamic scoring threat capable of taking over games scoring the ball. Emmanuel quickly has shown creative shot making and the big shot ability you want in a young point guard. Obi Toppin is an explosive athlete still scratching the surface of his potential. Combining with Randle entering his prime and Thibodeau building a winning culture, the Knicks finally have both the present and future to look forward to. After decades of dysfunction, the laughs have finally stopped, and the Knicks demand your respect once again as a force to be reckoned with both for now and years to come thanks to this truly shocking comeback story orchestrated by Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau. The impact of the fans. Madison Square Garden has long billed itself as the world's most famous arena, and the Knicks' rabid fan base has been a huge part of this mystique. Through thick and thin, Knicks fans always come out in droves with boundless passion in hopes of one day returning to contender status. After painfully enduring 20 long years worth of anger and suffering, the loyal Knicks fan base has finally been rewarded with the 2021 team worth passionately pouring their hearts and souls behind each night. The scrappy Knicks squad has brought the magic back to the iconic Madison Square Garden thanks to their thrilling comeback victories that embody the gritty spirit New York basketball demands. Led by budding all-star Julius Randle and rising stars RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, this pesky Knicks group rallies from large deficits with the high energy and never-quit mentality that New York fans crave. The deafening roar has returned to MSG, with defense chants spurring them on during thrilling comeback wins. Knicks fans have shown up and gotten loud, whether it was Julius Randle's buzzer beater against Boston, Derrick Rose's emotional return to MSG, or to will the team to comeback victories all season long. The Garden crowd impacts the game with their non-stop cheering, doing their part to lift the players to higher levels. With stars emerging, culture changing, and playoff basketball back at MSG, there couldn't be a better ending to this shocking comeback story than to have Knicks fans right there enjoying the long-awaited ride back to relevance. That brings this comeback story full circle. From 2 decades of dysfunction to the team unexpectedly rising under Leon Rose and Thibodeau's leadership in just 1 season. Did you see this shocking comeback coming for the Knicks? Can they keep building positive momentum for the future? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more NBA.